Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hope you are doing good at your places. So we are here to give you a presentation on emerging giants, which has been assigned by our lecturer Dr. Rizam Fontaine. So me myself Numan Iqbal and my partners Mustafa Ghani and Shamsi Nazar Muhammad will give you a brief presentation on emerging giants. So before coming to an introduction point, we have seen during the liberalization, most of the developing countries have opened their roof for a foreign investor to invest in their country. But on the same way, the local, I can say, local companies could lose their market share. So many of them they shut their businesses because they couldn't manage the multinational company like from the North America, Western Europe, Japan, or South Africa. They have high level of technology, finance, and everything. So some of the companies fought back to the multinational companies and giving run for their money. For example, Mahindra XUV product, Scorpio product, which has been launched in 2003 and known as the father of XUV cars. So now the major what's so the major emerging markets are India, China, Brazil, South Africa, Poland, South Africa, and others. Well, now their goal is to be globally competitive and to make exploit the new globalization opportunity for their markets. What the challenge for the local companies with the multinational companies? They are because they are comparing with themselves with the multinational companies which are very high reputed. I can say high level of they are competing with this. So now moving to what is basically multinational company is. So coming to the point of what is basically multinational companies. Multinational companies are those companies which having branch in more, which having operational branch or branch operating in more than 2 to 3 countries, have more than two countries are known as the multinational companies. They having the advantage, I can say, host of superior aspect, like brand names, efficient innovation process, we can management system, they having the sophisticated technology and access to reserves of finance, talent, and the distribution of network in their networks. So we can say manager at the local company is known how to work in the institution while it is difficult for the multinational companies. So coming to the market structure, there are four types of market structure: global, local, and the bottom level. So coming to the global level, the global level, the product market, I can say the product market, the quality of a product in the developed countries, they are willing to pay the global prices for them. In the talent market, we can say a tire consists of a top-notch manager, such as newly recruited graduates from IIT, IIM, or who demand the global level, you can say salaries. So now coming to the point of local level tier. So it basically consists of a consumer who demand the customized products and of a nearly, for example, of nearly a global size market standard, but are willing to pay less than the global consumers. For example, the Chinese and the Indian executives prefer to stay in Shangri-La hotel, Shangri-La or Taj rather than stay for example Sheraton or Grand Hyatt, something like that. Now coming to the local tier are happily, we can see the middle class people or happy to a local quality at the local prices. We can see in the for example in the market, managers in less section put less words, class conditions, or we can say they are high average values. Now coming to the bottom market level, people can say who can afford only the least expensive products are known as the bottom global tier. Now I will share my pass on my slide to brother Mustafa, who will continue after that. Thank you.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. My name is Mustafa. I'm going to continue from the part issues multinational companies face in emerging markets and why their strategic plan does not work in developing countries like China, India, and Brazil. It is because companies that are in emerging markets respond to their customer needs efficiently than those multinational companies. we can see that General Electronic, which is an American company, and Electrolux, which is a Swedish company, they both supply electronic products to consumers in China. They produce, they serve products like washing machine and all that, but still Haier have become one of the leading company in providing electronic products to consumers, which is a Chinese company, because they have managed to produce products that meet the specific need of their target market. For example, when Haier realized that some of their customers use the wash machine for cleaning vegetables, that's why they come up with the idea to produce a machine specifically for customers to wash vegetables only. Not only that, since managers are very familiar with the needs of local people, they are also able to come up with a product that can fulfill the needs of the customers in their neighbor countries. For example, companies that are in Malaysia, they are able to fulfill the needs of consumers in their neighbor country Indonesia easily than those countries who are in Europe and Asia, because they are almost from similar culture. That is why emerging the companies in developing countries have competitive advantage over multinational companies. Uh, Also, the current strategic model works in developed countries but not in developing countries, because multinational companies are not familiar with the resource market in the developing countries like companies from that developing countries. It is because those companies in developing countries utilize their knowledge about factors of production as an advantage over multinational companies, which allows them to serve customers in their home country and abroad efficiently. For example, Tata Consulting Services is one of the company that attract the talents in India cheaper than other companies like Accenture, because they know people and they are familiar with their people. That's why it is easy for them to attract the talents in their own home country than those multinational companies. And also some companies utilize the knowledge of their supply chain, like Inventec, who is also a company in developing country. So who is also one of the largest manufacturer of notebook computer and PCs. They supply these products to HP company and Toshiba. They also, not only that, they also produce cellular telephones and portable music players. They are able to use Chinese talent, because this company, which is Inventec, they use talents in China to develop products, and they supply to HP and Toshiba. Now we will continue on the part issues multinational companies faces in emerging markets. So we have already seen that it's very uh, difficult for the multinational companies to compete with the companies that are from developing countries, because we have saw that because they are so familiar with their people and they know how to serve their people. So how they can capitalize the market and how they can serve the people in the developing countries. So treat institutional void as a business opportunity. Since certain institution can be set by government only, Intermediaries are built by private sectors to fill the institutional voids. The companies can involve in intermediaries to operate and earn profit. It's one of the way for the companies to get the profit, so they can involve with intermediaries to eventually supply their products through intermediaries to the customers in developing countries. And also, many institutional intermediaries facilitate the flow of information in market, so they can easily help the multinational companies to solve their problem and eventually uh, allow them to serve their products in the uh, emerging markets. Multinational companies enjoy the benefits of doing business through intermediaries because they bring expertise, credibility, and expertise in the table. So when they involve with intermediaries, they will be able to enjoy uh, their credibility and experience, and also their expertise, because intermediaries are people intensive. They know about the people very much, and also intermediaries are information intensive. They have too much information about their people. And also there is other reason that government give national importance to these institutions, which means the only way for the multinational companies to earn profit and to capitalize uh, in the market in developing countries is to involve with the intermediaries to serve the customers in developing countries.
Assalamu alaikum to Doctor and my fellow classmates. This is Shamsy and I'm going to present on which strategies multinational companies should use to succeed in emerging market. So the first strategy is involve with intermediaries. What is intermediary? A person who acts as a link between people in order to try and bring about an arrangement. So when it is difficult for them to operate in emerging market, they can serve their product through intermediaries to their customers or consumers. The second strategies that multinational companies can use is a joint venture. Multinational companies can use joint venture with the companies in the developing countries as an opportunity to capitalize on the emerging markets, because the local companies in the developing countries, they have more experience about the consumer needs in their country. This way they will be able to succeed together. The strategy number 3 is recruiting highly qualified manager from the country that they want to do business. Although we know managers from developing countries are highly qualified, but capitalizing on the market in the developing countries, they need someone who can speak the language in the developing countries. And the last strategy which I'm going to talk about is innovative product and pricing. It is important for multinational companies to produce products that are right for the local consumers in the developing countries and at affordable price. And that's all from me. Thank you so much, everyone.